Okay, hi again. I just stopped what I'm doing to come here and say something that is just coming through hot, and that is that if this video is for you, if this resonates with you, you are someone with a heart of gold. Absolutely a heart of gold. You are an alchemist. You take your pains, your challenges, your losses, your grief, your struggles, and you turn them to gold. You touch something and it turns to gold. You use everything as a resource. Sorry, I just had to pause there. You use everything as a resource. You use everything in consideration of how it can benefit others and how it can deepen your compassion. You're growth oriented. You're focused on your core values, you're focused on love, you're focused on growth, you're focused on being of service in a really, really profound way, in a way that has allowed you to cut through the most challenging, painful experiences in life. And so if you're going through something right now, I just wanted to give you this reminder. And yeah, this is especially important to hold on to, in moments where you find yourself tempted to forget your own power, and also the necessity to be compassionate and kind with yourself. Not everyone can survive like the hard challenges that you have. The things that you've been through, the fires that you've crossed the threshold of and gotten to the other side of with more compassion, more love, more patience, more of a reserve of your spiritual assets, gifts, whatever, those things. Like, not everyone has the wherewithal, the strength, the determination, the faith or conviction to go through everything that you have gone through and still choose to be kind, still choose to be loving, still choose to be open to love and to be of service. And this is for a specific crowd. You know exactly who you are. So I just want to be a little cheerleader and just say, like, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that feels so insufferable right now, remember who you are, and remember that there is a wealth of power and wisdom in here for you. Like, God doesn't put people through things that they can't handle, and I know that's a, controversial kind of topic. It can be a very sensitive topic. My cat wants to come in my room, so she is gonna get just that. Come in, honey. Hi. Hi. Yeah, it's a sensitive topic, but it's the truth as far as what I've observed, and something that I just want you to remember when you're going through this is that, you're not suffering in vain, and it's not about you. I think you know that. I think you know that the things that are challenging do not have to be a reflection of who we are at our core. Even though it can be really easy to internalize, the harshness and the wrongs of the world, people who have wronged us, circumstances that have hurt us, whatever. It's easier to internalize it because it's harder to be brave. It's harder to be courageous. It's harder to have faith. Hi, honey. It's harder because it means that you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable and open enough to receive and to connect with love and God, and that openness means that you are vulnerable. So also protection is really, really important. Protection. Do what you need to do to protect yourself, whether this is, relative to your physical health, or your emotional health, mental health, safety, anything. It's so important to protect yourself. But yeah, one thing that, I like to remember when I'm going through really, really hard things is, to remind me that I shouldn't give up and that none of this is in vain. My pain is not in vain. Is, the richness, the support, the love, and the testament to the possibility of love that I can show to people. Like, yes, I went through this and this and this and this and this. Oh my God, countless things. Almost killed, abused, imprisoned. Like, I've shared a little bit more on some parts of my story on my channel, and I went through I've been through crazy things, abuse, so much abuse from so many different places, institutions, institutionalized abuse. I was almost trafficked, blah, blah, blah. Like, I could, that's just scratching the surface. But I am just here to pose the reminder that the suffering is not in vain. Like, you are so gifted, you are so full of God's love that the abuse, the wrongs, the darkness, it can never taint your soul. It can never put out your light. Shadows disappear in the presence of light. In the presence of light, like in where the light illuminates. If something's blocking light, then behind the light there's going to be a shadow, but it's just because something's blocking the light. It doesn't mean that there's no light. Yeah, but anyway, I've been trying to say this. One thing that I like to remember is that I am going through what I'm going through because one day I'm going to have children. One day I'm going to meet someone and I'll be able to help them. Like, one day I'll have someone who is going through what I went through, and I can be present with them. I can give them compassionate, understanding presence because I went through what they are going through. And okay, sometimes in life we go through things where we don't have anyone. We're alone. We are truly alone, and people say, oh, you're never alone, which it's not always 100% true that we're not alone, because sometimes we are alone and we can't deny the reality that we feel alone. And by that I mean, sometimes we have not a single other soul who understands what we're going through, or who we can talk to, or who is there. Sometimes that's how it is. It's not like that all the time. And it doesn't mean that there are not people elsewhere who are connected with you through what you're experiencing now, that you just don't know that exist. But this world is full of billions of people, and your human experience is not exclusive to you. It's uniquely experienced by you, but it's not, the human experience is not an isolated thing. So no matter what you're going through or feeling, I can guarantee you that there's some other soul on earth who has been, is going, or will go through the same thing that you're going through, maybe in a different permutation, from a different angle, whatever. But that's to, add to this fact that we're not alone, even though we feel alone, and sometimes we are alone, and those two truths can exist at the same time, being alone but also being connected, because we are interconnected. We cannot avoid the fact of that. But yeah, one day, what you're going through now, and the way that you learn to navigate it, and the compassion and the love that you can cultivate for your own experience through this now, is going to be of service to someone, to your future children, your future partner, your future friend, your future family, the people in the future who you don't even know yet, you know what I mean? And for that reason, none of it is in vain. And I know that might be hard for some people to battle with, maybe you don't want to think about how your suffering right now is meaningful. Maybe my reason for my suffering, my pain being meaningful is not the same reason that you would find meaning in your pain and your suffering. But at the core of my message, I'm speaking to how that there's meaning, and it is possible to derive a sense of meaning from pain, from suffering. Read the book Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor. I haven't actually read the book. I think this is the second time on my channel I mentioned it, but it talks to this importance of finding meaning through struggles to create joy and to create connection and to create, like, restore a sense of faith and hope. And so if you're suffering right now, maybe you are in a place where you feel like you have lost a sense of meaning. Why am I going through this? What is the purpose of this? You know? So I would encourage you to reflect back on times in your life that were filled with meaning. If you could have a perfect ideal life, what would it look like? Even if it's as simple as just, I want to eat chips every day because I love chips so much and that's what's meaningful to you. I want to eat chips and watch my favorite movie. Or I want to sit by the side of the lake and watch birds fly by. Like, even if it's something so simple, or you feel self-conscious or silly about it, it's just let that go and give yourself permission to connect with anything that's meaningful, and work that in your mind as a muscle, and practice connecting to a sense of meaning, and if you're too tired to do that, like, let yourself rest, let yourself give up. And when I say give up, I mean surrender. Surrender is an important part of the process as well, because sometimes that was weird. Sometimes we're just in a place, that was so interesting, that brownout after I said surrender. Sometimes we're in a place where the reality is that we literally have no energy and everything sucks, and it's just, that's how it is. So it's like, give yourself permission to just relax there and imagine, like, that you are still loved. Like, imagine that you're still loved. If you have people who can support you through that kind of time, that's such an incredible thing and a blessing and beautiful, and I'm so happy for you. And if you don't, then just know that you are worth being loved, even if you have nothing to give. Nothing to give. You don't need to give all the time. I was thinking about this earlier. Just because you are in a place where maybe you're set back a little bit, you're tired, you're healing, your bandwidth is only so wide, and especially as you grow, the more you learn about what you have space for in your life, the more you release relationships, circumstances, behaviors, habits, things, conditions. Like, the more you let go of those things, the more your life becomes open and available for the things that do feed you and do give you energy. And sometimes we just don't have room for what we did have room for before. We change, we grow, we are changeable people. Our nature is to change. And so you might feel like giving up. You might feel like you don't have any energy to do what you have always done before, or to do things in the same way. And so if you're feeling these signals from your body that it is time to just rest and give up and lay your burdens down and just surrender, it probably means that it's time to do that. And I hope to provide a voice of encouragement. It is okay to be where you're at. Your suffering's not in vain. I pray that you find meaning through whatever you're going through, and that you just get what you need. And I hope these messages were supportive and uplifting for anyone who needed them. And yeah, that's that. If you do want to book a personal reading with me, I offer those. I have intuitive body art scan portraits, which is like a scan of your physical and auric fields, and I interpret what I see, so it could help provide a cohesive overview reflection of everything, all the different parts that are happening in your energy, to help you find a deeper sense of clarity, understanding. I also offer shadow readings, which are very similar in nature. It's a look at your shadow and your light sides and the bridge between them, how to integrate them. Very, very thorough. I also do a 12-house zodiac spread, which is a deep dive look at your whole life from an astrological and personal perspective. I also do Celtic cross readings and freeform readings, any question, any length of time, and a couple other things, offerings, workshops, masterclasses, psychic and intuitive skill development classes, things like this, coming soon. And I also have a psychic skill development masterclass available for purchase, and it's an hour long. And info for all of this stuff is in the description below, so check that out if you're interested. Thanks for being here. Sending you lots of love. See you next time.